What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something that just blows my mind every time I think about it: UFOs, or as the government likes to call them now, UAPs. For decades, we've been conditioned to look up at the night sky, staring at the stars, wondering what's out there. We've been fed this narrative that if they come, they'll come from the vast, empty blackness of space. But what if we've been looking in the wrong direction? What if the most profound, most earth-shattering evidence isn't coming from light years away, but from right here, from the unexplored depths of our own planet? Think about it. We know more about the surface of the moon than we do about the bottom of our own oceans. It's this massive, dark, mysterious world teeming with God knows what. So here's the big question we're tackling today. Are the most compelling UFO sightings coming from our mysterious oceans, or are they visitors from the far reaches of space? It's a wild thought, this idea of an intelligence that might have been here all along, coexisting with us in a place we can barely even access. It changes the entire paradigm of what alien even means. So, buckle up. We're going to look at some of the most credible, government-documented encounters ever recorded. We're going to examine evidence from both the deep blue sea and the deep black of space. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm just laying out the facts as we know them. I want you to look at this stuff, really absorb it, and decide for yourselves. The implications of either possibility are just staggering, and it's a conversation we need to be having. Let's get into it. All right, let's start with what is, for my money, one of the most compelling pieces of evidence ever. The Tic Tac UFO encounter. This isn't some grainy, shaky cam footage from some dude in his backyard. This is documented by the United States Navy, by some of the best trained fighter pilots on the planet. We're talking about Commander David Fravor and Lieutenant Commander Alex Dietrich, pilots from the USS Nimitz Carrier Strike Group. In 2004, off the coast of San Diego, they were diverted to investigate a series of anomalous aerial vehicles that the USS Princeton, a Ticonderoga-class cruiser, had been tracking for 2 weeks. These things were real, so Fravor and his wingman fly out there, and what they see just defies all known laws of aerodynamics and physics. There's this disturbance on the surface of the ocean, like something big is just under the water, churning it up. And hovering erratically above it is this object. It's smooth, white, oblong with no wings, no visible propulsion system, no exhaust. Fravor described it as a 40-foot-long tic-tac. It's zipping around, making these instantaneous changes in direction and velocity that would turn a human pilot into a smear of jam. It's reacting to their presence, mirroring their movements in a way that suggests a highly advanced, intelligent control system. Fravor decides to go in for a closer look to engage with this thing. As he descends, the object ascends to meet him. It's a crazy cat-and-mouse game in the sky. Then, as Fravor cuts across its path to get a better angle, the tic-tac just accelerates and vanishes. Gone. In less than a second. The radar operator on the Princeton later said it reappeared at their pre-arranged rendezvous point 60 miles away almost instantly. Think about that. The technology to do that is so far beyond anything we have, it's not even funny. And it all started over a mysterious disturbance in the ocean. Now let's talk about another piece of the puzzle that the Pentagon itself has verified as authentic: the gimbal video. This one was also captured by a Navy FA-18 Super Hornets targeting pod, this time off the coast of Florida in 2015. What makes this footage so incredible isn't just the object itself, but the raw, unfiltered reaction of the pilots witnessing it. You can hear the pure astonishment in their voices. These are not guys who get easily flustered. They're professionals, trained to analyze and identify threats calmly and methodically. But what they're seeing just breaks their brains. In the footage, you see this dark, saucer-like shape flying against strong winds. And then it does something absolutely bizarre. It rotates. It just turns on its axis in a way that no conventional aircraft could. The pilots are trying to make sense of it. One of them exclaims, "Look at that thing, dude." And you can hear the awe and confusion. They speculate it could be a drone, but then one of them says, "There's a whole fleet of them. A whole fleet. They're watching a group of these things, and the gimbal object is just one part of a larger phenomenon happening right there, over the ocean." The name gimbal comes from the way the object appears to lock its orientation while the sensor pod moves around it, but the real mystery is the rotation. It suggests a propulsion system that is completely alien to us. There are no jets, no rotors, nothing we can recognize. It's just moving and rotating. It's another case of these UAPs demonstrating flight characteristics that are By our standards, impossible. And once again, where does this happen? Over the vast open ocean. It's a recurring theme that's just too significant to ignore. Are these things staging from the water? It's a legitimate question. Okay, so we've looked at some pretty mind-bending stuff happening over our oceans. But now, let's shift our gaze upwards to the cold, silent vacuum of space. Because the evidence isn't just coming from down here. In 1991, the Space Shuttle Discovery, on mission STS-48, captured something on its cameras that has been debated and analyzed for decades. This wasn't a fighter pilot's FLIR pod. This was a live NASA feed from low Earth orbit. What it shows is just weird. You see the curvature of the Earth, the thin line of the atmosphere, and then you see these points of light moving in ways that are hard to explain. In the most famous sequence from this mission, you see an object on the horizon. Suddenly there's a flash of light, and the object makes an abrupt right-angle turn and shoots off into space at an incredible speed. It looks for all the world like it's intelligently controlled and has some kind of advanced propulsion. It doesn't move like space debris, which follows a predictable orbital path. This thing changes direction on a dime. It's a clear, observable event that seems to defy conventional explanation. It's the kind of thing that makes you wonder what else is flying around up there when the cameras aren't rolling. Now, NASA's official explanation is that these were just ice particles being hit by the shuttle's thruster jets, creating an illusion of rapid movement. And look, that's possible. You have to consider all the prosaic explanations. But when you watch the footage, it's hard to shake the feeling that you're seeing something more. The object appears to be self-illuminated, and its change in trajectory is so sharp, so deliberate. Is it an alien probe, a piece of unknown technology, or just space junk and ice? This is one of those classic cases where the official story just doesn't seem to fully satisfy what your own eyes are telling you. Let's go back to the USS Nimitz in that 2004 event, because the Tic Tac was just the tip of the iceberg. This wasn't a one-off sighting. For 2 solid weeks, the entire carrier strike group was dealing with these things. Senior Chief Petty Officer Kevin Day, a radar operator on the USS Princeton, was the first to detect them. He saw clusters of these objects appearing on his state-of-the-art Spy-1 radar system. They would appear out of nowhere at 80,000 feet, way higher than normal aircraft, and then plummet down to sea level, hovering for a while before shooting straight back up. The performance characteristics were off the charts. This is where it gets really interesting and ties back to the ocean mystery. These objects weren't just operating in the air, they were transmedium. That's the key word here. They were observed moving seamlessly between the air and the water. Think about the physics of that. Going from a low-density medium like air to a high-density medium like water at high speed would be like hitting a brick wall for any craft we know of. It would be destroyed. But these things were doing it without even slowing down. They were seen on sonar plunging into the depths. They were masters of both domains. This capability is a game changer. It suggests a technology so advanced, it's almost magical. It also heavily implies that the ocean isn't just a place they fly over, it's a place they operate in. Are they hiding there? Are there bases down there? When you have multiple witnesses, from pilots in the sky to radar operators on ships to sonar technicians tracking them underwater, all describing the same impossible phenomena, you have to take it seriously. This wasn't a glitch. This was a sustained encounter with something that could go from 80,000 feet to 50 feet above the water and then deep into the ocean, all in the blink of an eye. So, we've seen evidence from the sea and the sky. But what about something that's been hanging out in orbit for potentially thousands of years? This brings us to the legend of the Black Knight satellite. This is a story that's part conspiracy theory, part historical anomaly, and it's absolutely fascinating. The idea is that there is an object of unknown, possibly extraterrestrial origin in a near-polar orbit around Earth. The story has been pieced together from various disconnected events, from Nikola Tesla allegedly picking up strange radio signals in 1899, to reports from Mercury and Gemini astronauts of seeing an unidentified object in orbit. The most famous piece of evidence is a photograph taken during the STS-88 Space Shuttle Endeavour mission in 1998. The photo shows a dark, oddly shaped object against the backdrop of space. NASA's official explanation is that it's simply a thermal blanket that was lost by an astronaut during an EVA or extravehicular activity, and visually that checks out. It looks like it could be a piece of debris. But believers in the Black Knight theory argue that this is just the latest sighting of something that has been there for a very, very long time, watching us. The theory suggests this satellite is ancient, a sentinel left behind by an alien civilization. It's a powerful and romantic idea that we're not alone and that someone has been keeping an eye on us. While the evidence for the Black Knight is way more circumstantial and less concrete than, say, the Nimitz encounters, it represents that deep-seated belief that the visitors are from space. It plays into our classic sci-fi tropes of ancient aliens and mysterious artifacts in the cosmos. It stands in stark contrast to the idea of an earthbound intelligence living in our oceans, presenting a completely different but equally compelling vision of who or what these UAPs might be. So, there you have it. On one hand, you have credible, multiple witness, military documented events like the Nimitz and Gimbal encounters. These point to a phenomenon that is intimately connected with our oceans, objects that defy physics and appear to be transmedium, moving between air and water with ease. It raises the mind-bending possibility of an intelligence that resides right here on Earth, hidden in the crushing, unexplored darkness of the deep sea. An intelligence that might be older than us, with technology that makes ours look like primitive toys. It's a humbling and frankly terrifying thought. On the other hand, you have the evidence from space. The strange maneuvers of objects seen by space shuttle crews. The enduring legend of the Black Knight satellite. This supports the more traditional narrative we've all grown up with, that we are being visited by beings from other worlds, traversing the unimaginable distances between stars to observe our little blue planet. This is the story of explorers from afar, of probes and ships sent from distant civilizations. It's a narrative of cosmic discovery and our place in a much larger populated universe. Both possibilities are equally profound. Ultimately, we're left with more questions than answers, which is where the real conversation begins. The evidence is there, but the interpretation is up for grabs. Are we dealing with deep-sea dwellers or deep space travelers? Is the truth hidden beneath the waves or beyond the stars? The implications are staggering either way. So what do you think? Are UFOs rising from our oceans or are they coming from the stars? Let us know your thoughts below. I read the comments and I want to know what you guys think about all this. Thanks for watching.